Hey everybody, Josh Silock here. I really wanted to record for you what it's like to work with AI at a local level. So I don't have the constraints that are often given to someone who's using another software online. And this is what allows me to create art that you really can't do on some of these sites because they're blocked from doing certain things in creation. This is one of the reasons why I was able to create the Lust collection. And if you've never watched AI before or how to work with it, let me show you. This is kind of interesting, and if you've never seen the process before, how people create AI art locally, then maybe this will be something that you might enjoy. Okay, so here is a prompt. You have positive prompts, you have negative prompts. I'm using automatic 1111, and I've got some options here, right? So all these at the top are kind of different things that I can do. They're different tools, and you can look at this whole thing as a big toolbox. So how I got this image was I just typed in a gorgeous girl, Japanese, takes a selfie while a magic battle happens behind her. And of course, you can see that that's not exactly what happened, but the quality was pretty good, right? It did this at a 512 by 512 resolution. That's width and height. And then we can see how many batches and how many batch size. So if I wanted to make 5 of them, then I can do that. And then your CFG scale. What this is you can see here how strongly the image should conform to the prompt. That's the prompt that you created above, and that's both prompts, the positive prompt and the negative prompts. And there's also seeds. So what you can do is you can actually set certain seeds and it will remember that style. This is how you can keep the same style and keep the same kind of character, and then continue to use that same style on other things. If you want variation, then maybe you don't want to go with that particular seed. And then there's also you can go extra, and you can do resizing. And there's also scripting that you can do, which can do other things. There's preset styles that you can save and you can use later. But for now, let's show you just what happens if we go from 512 to 1024 by 1024. Now you have to remember that my computer is going to be a little bit faster than most because I am using the consumer, pretty much most expensive processor I can get, most expensive video card that I could get within my budget. So I spent around $5,000 on the upgrade this year, and 2 years ago I spent about the same. I'm using a very advanced computer, and doing this one of the benefits of running this locally is that I can create as much as I want. I'm paying for the hardware and the electricity cost of creation. But let's just change the width and height and see what happens when we generate. So here we are, we're generating. We can see, boom, it's done. And here it is. What we've got some magic happening. We've got some fight in the background. So definitely a little bit closer to what we were looking for. And let's now move our CFG scale way closer to the other end and then see what happens. Let's generate again. Okay, so here we go. We can see where it was close to the prompt, but we've got some issues happening here, right? We've got some, like, what is this, a cell phone? Looks like there's somebody fighting in the back, but it's not very clear. And this is where prompt engineering comes into it, to really be able to capture what it is. You see how I just kind of said something kind of vague, right? If I wanted to get a certain camera angle with a very specific style that I'm going for, with certain kinds of camera lenses and lighting, location, colors, you can really get quite advanced with what your prompt looks like. And that's kind of one of the secrets, I think, to making a really good art piece, is dialing in your prompts. Now, according to the way that the government is working right now, let's just pop out a bunch here and we'll go for middle of the road. And I'll kind of talk to you while it's doing this, and we'll see if it stutters in my system. But so one of the things that the government says is that if this is all I do to create this art, this isn't enough for them to say, hey, Josh, that is considered your work. It doesn't matter how much time I spend in crafting the positive prompts, the negative prompts. They don't really care. I don't have copyright of that, at least for in the lawsuits as they've been interpreted so far in the States. Canada, there really hasn't been any that I'm aware of. And Europe, the laws are a little bit different. But, here we go. We've got definitely some action happening in the back. Now, this is part of the filter system. So a person would go through here and you'd go, okay, well, do I need some negative prompts? Do I need to get what I'm looking for? Like, are any of these useful, right? And we can see there's just extra limbs, like there's two people here. There's a lot of funkiness going on. This one, is kind of cool, but personally, I don't think it's usable. And so the way that I look at this art when I'm using it this way is I look at it like creating a template. Does this template can I work with it? Is there errors that I could fix? Is it worth the time in fixing? What do I need to do to get this template, this base template, workable for my utility? I know of projects out there right now that would take something that they're going to dial in, even though they get the positive prompts and the negative prompts, or they get a pre-trained weighted model, which is just kind of like if you had fed in a bunch of information and that's like a certain style of, say, dogs, a whole bunch of dogs, and you fed that in and you created a model that would represent all of those dogs. That's essentially what a model is. And there's sites where you can get pre-trained models to look like kind of styles that you're going for, right? But that still doesn't mean that you're going to be able to just put in any old gobbledygook input with a negative prompt and get exactly what you need. You might have to spend hours dialing it in. And once you get that, remember, that's all you do. Ain't good enough according to copyright. So what I do next is I would look, of course, is this good enough? So I could do some negative prompts, like I don't want, warped hands, wonky eyes. I don't want, cross-eyed. I don't want just abnormal limbs. Right, and you can kind of, you can do searches where you can find native prompts and kind of dial it in that way. But there's also different sampling methods, and these can sometimes make a big difference. So when we go into different sampling methods, we could also do restore faces. And when you're dialing art in to get your base template, you don't necessarily always want to make a whole bunch of changes at once. Maybe just change one thing to see, hey, what does it do next? Then change another thing. What does it do next? Until you really get exactly what you're looking for. And after that next step, that's what really gets fun. This is fun too, but then you're going through and you're going, okay, you're like picking through rocks. Is this gold? Is this garbage? What is this? And then you do the next step. But I will make another video on what that next step is like and how you can do art and really make it your own with AI, so that you're not being lazy and you're creating something that you can actually be proud of. Because right now, how long did this really take me? I could pop out a 10,000 piece unique collection pretty quick. And if I can dial it in it's going to be pretty decent. So we can actually see here that this front hand looks disfigured. So I could probably put another prompt in there, but this one is kind of cool. We've got somebody doing something in the back there. Looks like she's casting some magic. Some hands off screen there. I'm not sure what's going on there. There's a hand coming in here. Looks like a lightsaber or something. Look, anyway, it is kind of humorous and fun to go through the creative process and kind of co-dreaming with the AI. And we haven't even got to sampling steps. So when you get to more sampling steps, I've got a pretty powerful computer here, so we're going to go up to 80. We'll lower this to 2 so it doesn't take so long. I'm going to click generate here and kind of show you what I'm talking about. This is going to, take a little, maybe a couple seconds. So more sampling steps. It's dreaming longer. It's taking longer to process that image. You think about it like dream time, right? When you're getting into a dream and you get your first step, and then and it starts flowing into something else. And the longer you flow into something, it might get better. It might be worse. You don't really know. Sometimes more sampling steps doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get more of what you want. This is part of the experimental process and getting the first template to making yourself some beautiful AI art. It's just about done. Let's see what it comes up with after 80 sampling steps and a 15 CFG scale. So we can click the first one here, and it's got an extra limb. This isn't obviously a body. It's doing something real funky there. We did get this. So, is this workable? I think I could probably make the first one work. This second one, I might be able to make it work, but maybe not. I can show you how I would make something like this work. So what we'll do is we'll just open up the File Explorer, and I will pull it up. I gotta go. But if you did enjoy this, I will do more, so you can kind of see how I work with AI to co-create, make beautiful stuff. Give me a like, a comment, subscribe, and thanks for being here. Josh Silock out. Take care. See you soon.